So the crypto market's pulling back today for the first time in a couple of days, and many investors are looking at this from different perspectives. Some people think this is a good thing, some people think this is scary, some people are frustrated by it. And so what I wanted to do for you all just really quickly is just to throw my opinion in there and let you know what I think about this pullback that we're seeing today and honestly why I don't think it's that big a deal. But I'll get into that in a little bit here. So, with that in mind, guys, let's just get straight into the video. Of course, I am still out. I'm going to be traveling for the next 7 to 9 days, but I am going to make these videos for you as soon as possible, anytime I can. Don't you worry. So, looking at the crypto bubbles maps, well, I mean, what we can see here is pretty clear, right? The majority of the market's down today, being led downwards by things like Trump, WLD, Pi, ENA, LDO, IP, and many more. Now, there are a few standouts like Form, BGB, Virtuals barely holding on, with barely holding on, but for the most part, I mean, the market itself is down. You look at something like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now currently right around $108,600, pulling back towards the downside, of course, leading the market down as well. Now, just to kind of give my first thoughts about this situation specifically, I'm going to be honest, guys. I do think that the people who are being super dramatic about this pullback right now, especially some of my fellow creators, they're doing a little bit too much, in my opinion, right? People are saying crypto crash, do this now. And it's like worrying about like this being the end of the run, or like some people saying that the run's over before it ever started, blah, blah, blah. But the truth of the nature is here. I mean, just look at bubbles. Look at the week, look at the month, look at the year, all of which are majoritively green. And so the fact that we're seeing this little bitty pullback after all of this green, because I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but Bitcoin itself over the last 6 weeks has pumped nearly 50%. So seeing just this little pullback, if you're freaking out about it, I just think you're being a bit dramatic. Now, I don't mean to kind of invalidate your feelings. I'm sorry, but it's just my opinion. I think you're being a bit dramatic. I don't think it's a big deal. Now, matter of fact, I actually think that it's much more normal than people realize. Okay. Like I actually think this pullback not only is normal, but to some degree was calculated, because it is exactly what you would expect to happen at the top side of it, where we were. And I'm going to show you that. And this is, of course, the reason why I did tell you guys a couple days ago. It's why we took profits, guys. You remember whenever I made that video and I told you guys I was taking profits and I did that sell right up here? I mean, look what happened since then. These sorts of things that we're seeing in the market right now are normal. And let me explain why. So, first and foremost, from a technical perspective, when you look at something like Bitcoin, what you have to understand is that, again, as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, every time that Bitcoin makes a move higher, it's losing strength. Look at this. Watch. You see how we have this high, and then this high, and then this high? And as we're all seeing these prices go upwards, the RSI is dropping, especially on the 4-hour charts. It's called bearish divergence. And again, it's a sign that every time we pump, we're losing strength and losing strength and losing strength. And these pumps are going to get smaller up until the point in which we're very likely going to see some sort of more macro pullback, or, you can call it a crash if you wanted to, but it's not really a crash. This is a pullback or a correction. Now, in addition to that, what you can see is that Bitcoin is in a more macro ascending channel now. And now that it is confirmed being in an ascending channel, remember, in the short to midterm, ascending channels are bearish, and you will almost always break to the downside of them. You have a 9 to 10% chance of breaking to the upside. You're almost always going to break to the downside. And so, considering the fact that we're losing strength as we're pumping, we're seeing an ascending channel forming, and we just reached an all-time high, people are going to be taking profits there. It is no surprise to see a bit of a pullback just like this, guys. It's, again, normal. You go look at Total 2, for example. Look at where we are. We are currently forming a double top directly below the golden Fibonacci zone. Look at this. Watch. Let me just zoom it in a little bit. Sorry, I'm using one hand here, so it's weird, but you can see it. Like, look at this. Total 2, or the total market cap of altcoins, pushed all the way to the golden zone. We ran into resistance, and now it's getting rejected. That's normal. That happens all the time, guys. How many times have I made videos talking about rejections off golden zones? This is what happens. And the truth of the nature here for not only just total market cap 2, but also for Bitcoin is that, guys, we might go a little bit lower. And that's the harsh truth that you need to hear. I'm not saying we're going to, because I quite frankly have no idea what's going to happen. But if you look at it, I mean, yeah, we might be forming a double top, and that could imply that Total 2 has to pull back towards 1.1 trillion, 1.05 trillion. That could imply that Bitcoin's price might need to pull back towards 101,000, 96,000. All these things are possible. And if you don't think they're possible, just go look at the liquidation map. On the 30-day liquidation exchange map, there are $18.3 billion worth of liquidations, very fairly distributed across all of these ranges. And so what that means is that at any given point, the lizard people might decide, hey, I want these people to quit. I want these people to give up. Everyone's getting too bullish. And then they're just going to go in and wreck the market. I mean, you got to understand that dips at any given point can happen when the crypto fear and greed index is sitting in 76, guys. We are getting towards the top side. Now, again, I'm not saying that we're for sure going to fall back. I'm not saying for sure that this is going to continue. The whole point of this video is more to say, listen, this is normal. And anybody screaming and freaking out and saying it's not normal is just blatantly lying to you for clicks and clout. Truth of the nature here. Because the exciting thing is to say, this isn't normal, this is scary, this is worrying. It is not worrying. It's not that big a deal. You have to be okay with pullbacks during periods in which we're pumping. They are what allowed the pumps to continue. This little move right here, this is what allowed for this to happen. Okay. This little move, watch. This little move right here is what has allowed for this to happen, right? For total two. Same thing for Bitcoin. This little move right here is what allowed for this to happen. Pullbacks are normal and they're natural. And if you have been following plan, or if you have a similar plan to me, you really don't care if this market's pulling back because we've been taking profits consistently for the last couple weeks. We've been taking profits all right here. We took profits all right here. So guess what? If this pullback does get worse, if it does continue, if Bitcoin does come back to the 90s or the low hundreds, guess what? We have cash now. We just throw the cash in, rotate into some altcoins, and ride that puppy upwards when the bounce does come, because the bounce is going to come. So in a moment like this, if you're freaking out, you just got to check your feelings. You got to thicken that skin up a little bit, because this is just what happens. Look at this. If I freaked out, look at the green bubbles. If I freaked out every single time that Bitcoin dumped, look at how many times I would have missed great buying opportunities. I'd have missed 1, 2, 3, 4 great buying opportunities just over the last couple months. You can't freak out when the market pulls back. You have to just use it as an advantage. Use it to your opportunity. And what I do is when the dips get big enough or bad enough, I buy. And then almost always, those buys will turn into profit, just like all of the ones that we did here. Do you guys know how many people told me over the last 5-6 months, whenever I was making YouTube videos saying I was DCAing, that I was crazy and that I was buying the top and blah, 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 blah. And now they're sitting here looking at these positions being up 30 to 50%, being quiet and not commenting anymore. That's the type of stuff that happens all the time. So you just got to be okay with these little dips. And again, today, when you look at this from a zoomed out perspective, this little crash, dump, whatever you want to call it, is not really a dump. This is just a correction. It's just a pullback. It's just a slowdown. It's not a big deal. Okay. So those are my opinions. Those are my thoughts. I don't mean to, again, invalidate your feelings. And if you're feeling stressed, feel stressed, but you just got to get used to it, because it's going to get way worse than this. And this isn't bad at all. Okay. So with that in mind, I'll keep you guys updated. If you do want to do a little bit of trading yourself, you can check out this link to BTCC. It is linked down for you below, where you can go get a 10% deposit bonus on all first time deposits. Guys, that's up to $10,000 a user that you can get today to start trading with for free. In addition to that, you're going to get 40% lower trading fees. Any of you who know trading know that is a ridiculously good deal. So go check that out down below. And don't forget, if you do want to see real time what I personally am doing, what professional traders are doing, other creators are doing, see what some of our coaches are doing, and much more, what I want you to do is I want you to check out the school. You remember how on this bubble sheet, you saw that message at the top that said this? All buys and sells are documented within the crypto strategy school. Yeah. All of these purchases that I made right here, all this take profit, all this money that we've made in here was all documented here firsthand. So if you want to see that, of course, the link is available for it down below. But again, just kind of lock in, guys. I know it's a stressful time in the market, but it's really not. Bitcoin's at all-time highs. Altcoins are lagging behind because liquidity hasn't got to them yet. Give it time. Let it develop. I'll be here updating you every step of the way, and I hope you all have a great day. See you later, everybody.